Hello everyone, Carson here, and today I'm going to be explaining to you if Hostinger is good for e-commerce. Now, I'll drop a link in the description where you can view more details about this and receive special discounts if you want to pick up your own plan. Well, let's get into the video. Now, Hostinger is one of my all-time favorite hosting platforms. I really highly recommend it because it's such a cheap and efficient starter platform for anyone who's getting into website hosting and just starting off with their new website business, They're putting up a business on the internet and they've never done it before. It's super straightforward, super easy to use, and very cheap. Very good hosting overall. But the question I get asked a lot is if Hostinger is good for e-commerce, because e-commerce hosting is kind of a different division altogether than just hosting in general. Essentially, hosting providers will customize their server differently depending on if they're providing e-commerce hosting or not. Through this, you'll see improved performance on some e-commerce sites that are hosted on more e-commerce specific hosting platforms, which are essentially, you can think of it as tailored to the needs of e-commerce websites. And a question I get a lot, as I was saying, is Hostinger good for e-commerce? Can I host my e-commerce platform on Hostinger? Will that work? Is it good for it? And how does it hold up against all the other popular e-commerce hosting platforms? Well, let me go ahead and explain. Now, the first thing we need to consider is the speeds between Hostinger and other hosting platforms, because there are different hosting platforms like GoDaddy and SiteGround or other places like that. But these platforms in general don't seem to compare to the speeds of Hostinger's websites, especially when you compare the budget needed for those platforms versus a Hostinger one. When you're selling products online, one of the most essential things is to have a very fast and responsive website. The reason being is that customers have very low attention spans. I have personally read a lot of marketing material, and that is one of the most common trends in every single marketing book, is that you have to get your customer's attention and you have to grab it, because if a customer loses attention, you lose a sale. So when it comes to e-commerce websites, a fast e-commerce website is an absolute must, and there's really no platform that compares to the speed and the budget that Hostinger offers. Boasting very fast speeds at a very low price, Hostinger is very good in this aspect for e-commerce hosting. Now, another nice option about Hostinger is you can always upgrade your plans if you have so much traffic coming in that their cheapest plans can't handle it. For example, let's say I have a website and it's starting to get bogged down a bit slowed down because I've got so much traffic coming to my e-commerce site and I'm making so many sales that the current plan I'm on is having a little bit of trouble handling all that traffic. All I have to do is just upgrade my plan and I can move to a more expensive Hostinger plan. Now, obviously, all of Hostinger's plans are very cheap. They're all very good quality, but there are different levels, and that is one thing to consider. For example, I'm right here on the Hostinger website, and as you can see, when I hit the hosting drop-down menu, there is shared web hosting, there is cloud hosting, and there is WordPress hosting and VPS hosting. Now, all of these different hosting methods have different services, but as you can see, let's say I got a shared web hosting plan because Hostinger has some of the cheapest shared web hosting plans on the market, if not the cheapest. So let's say I started with a single shared plan, and I was just using that per month. Then eventually it got a bit slower because I started getting a lot of visitors. What I could do is I could upgrade to the premium or the business shared hosting plan, which would let me have, as you can see on the business shared hosting plan, up to 100,000 visitors on average per month. Now, that is a lot of monthly visits. There are not many e-commerce websites which are going to need more visits than that per month. But if you do, you can always change your hosting plan and go to cloud hosting, which is even bigger for even more visitors and making it even easier to serve your customers on your e-commerce website. So Hostinger overall is very good for e-commerce and very tailored to suit your e-commerce needs. So yeah, just to recap, I think Hostinger is actually a very good platform for e-commerce hosting. If you're going to be running an e-commerce site, there's really no option that is cheaper and higher quality than Hostinger. There are very few options that you could find which would be even potentially cheaper or higher quality than the service Hostinger provides. Their service is very fast, which means you're not going to be losing customers. There's a very high uptime, and they also offer a money-back guarantee on their plans, so if you buy a plan and you don't like it, you can always refund your money and get it back within 30 days. Now, they also offer really good customer support, which is a very good thing for any e-commerce platform, because there's always going to be a few issues you might run into. There's always a potential for that, and if you do run into issues, you want to fix it as soon as possible so you don't lose out on all those potential sales. Well, thank you so much for listening. That's been my review of Hostinger for e-commerce. Now, if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. I'll be sure to respond in detail and make sure my answer is very complete and you understand everything about Hostinger. Also, just a reminder that I've got a link in the description where you can check out more details about this, read a more detailed explanation, and receive special discounts. Well, thank you so much for watching. Till next time, and have a great day.